You push the glass door, and it's heavier than you expected. The air inside is cold, filtered, scented like something with no name. A woman in black stands near the register. She sees you. Her eyes do the math in under a second. Your shoes, your jacket, the bag you're carrying. She decides what you are before you reach the first display. She doesn't approach. She doesn't smile. She just watches the space between you and the merchandise. You came to look at a watch. You leave having learned something else. The store didn't refuse you, it simply never saw you arrive. Level 1. No money. You went in because the sidewalk was cold and the lights inside looked warm, and that is the only reason. And everyone in the room knows it. The guard near the entrance shifts his weight. He doesn't look at your face. He looks at your hands, your pockets, the seams of your jacket. You are not a customer to him. You are a variable he has to monitor until you leave. The associates don't approach. The associates. They have a different way of standing when someone like you walks in. Closer to the merchandise, angled toward the exits, you touch a sleeve and feel the room tighten around you. You let go. The price tag has no number you can hold without it turning into a week of your life. You knew that before you came in. You came anyway, because looking was supposed to be free. It isn't. You pay in something quieter than money. You pay in the way you start to move smaller, softer, apologizing with your shoulders for taking up the air. The rule at level 1 is simple, and nobody says it out loud. The store does not sell to you. The store watches you. You are not a buyer. You are a risk wearing the wrong shoes, and the whole room is waiting, politely, for you to go. Level 2. A little money. Enough to stand in the room without being followed, not enough to be seen. You saved for months, and you have a number in your head. And this time, the number is real. An associate finally approaches because the math on your jacket came back as harmless rather than profitable. The greeting is correct, the temperature is wrong. She asks if you're looking for anything in particular, and the question is a door she's holding mostly closed. You name the item. She points to it instead of walking you over. You feel the difference land somewhere in your chest. Service exists here, but it is rationed. You are handled, not helped. You ask to see something behind the glass, and there is a pause. Small but real, a calculation about whether you are worth the key. She unlocks it. She stays close while you hold it, her hand half raised to take it back. You give it back before she has to ask, because you learned that lesson at level 1. The rule at level 2 is this: the store will tolerate you. It will not court you. You are allowed to spend. You are simply not allowed to belong. And the distance between those two things is the whole point. Level 3. Enough for one thing, the single beautiful object you decided you had earned. You walk in, knowing the number and knowing you can meet it, and something in your spine sits differently because of that. The associate reads the change before you open your mouth. The greeting warms by a few degrees. You are walked to the item now, not pointed at it. You are offered a chair, water, maybe, in real glass. The transaction is smooth, efficient, pleasant the way a well-built machine is pleasant. They fold it in tissue, tie the ribbon, slide it into a bag with rope handles, and for one block of sidewalk, the bag makes you taller. But the warmth ends at the door. Nobody learned your name. Nobody asked you to come back. You were a sale, opened and closed in 11 minutes. The rule at level 3 is the one no one warns you about. The store will serve you exactly as much as you are spending in that moment, and not 1 degree more. You bought a thing, you did not buy a place. The second your card clears, the attention that found you begins quietly to slide off you and toward whoever walks in next. Level 4. Real money now. The store changes how it breathes when you enter. An associate moves toward you with intention instead of suspicion, and the greeting carries a smile that actually reaches the eyes. They ask your name, and then they use it twice, so you'll know they meant to keep it. They remember what you looked at last time, or they perform the memory so cleanly that it doesn't matter which. You are offered the chair before you think to want it. A glass of something cold and expensive arrives, though it is 2 in the afternoon. The items come to you now. You no longer walk the floor. The floor is carried to your hands, one object at a time, laid on velvet under light chosen to make it glow. They open a private file in your name. They tell you about the collection before it reaches the public, lean in like it's a secret, let you feel chosen. The rule at level 4 inverts everything beneath it. You no longer chase the merchandise. The merchandise is presented to you. You stopped being someone the room watches and became someone the room performs for. Level 5. Enough that they are afraid to lose you. You have a person now, not whichever associate happened to be on the floor. A specific name who texts you when something arrives, who sets your size aside before the doors open, who knows your partner's taste and your daughter's birthday, and the watch you've been circling for a year. The store offers you appointments after hours. Lights low, the whole floor yours and empty. You try things on without the crowd, without the line, without the eyes that used to track you. The fitting room is a room, with a sofa and a mirror, engineered to be kind. When a piece doesn't suit you, your person tells you honestly, because the relationship is worth more than any single sale. And they have done the math on your lifetime, not your afternoon. The rule at level 5 is quiet and enormous. The store stops selling you products and starts protecting your loyalty. You are no longer a transaction to complete, you are a relationship to keep alive. Level 6. Rich enough that the store comes to you. The boutique stops being a place you visit and becomes a service that arrives. Your person sends a car or sends the collection in a locked case or flies in for the launch and saves you the seat in the front row with your name on a small white card. The waitlist that rules everyone else simply does not apply. The bag that takes strangers 2 years appears in a week in your color without your having asked. A manager greets you by name in a city you have never shopped in because the system flagged you across every location, every continent, before you reach the counter. You are guided past the rope, past the public floor, into a room behind the room, where nothing wears a price because, for you, the price is a conversation, not a tag. They serve you, they remember you, they protect you from the version of the experience everyone else is given. The rule at level 6 is almost gentle, and that is what makes it cold. The store no longer asks you to come in. The store quietly rearranges itself around the chance that you might. Level 7. Wealth that buys relationship instead of product. You don't have a salesperson anymore. You have a name inside the house. Someone whose standing rises and falls with whether you stay. The brand sends pieces before they exist in any store. Photographed for you alone, made in your measurements before you confirm you want them. You are invited to the atelier, the workshop, the floor below the floor where the things are actually made, and someone walks you through the stitching like you are family being shown the kitchen. The limited release that sells out in 90 seconds online is held, untouched, in a drawer with your name written on the envelope. When a piece needs a repair, it is collected from your home and returned restored, and no one mentions a fee. Because fees are for people who are counted differently than you. You are flown to the show. You are seated beside the people whose faces are the reason the show exists. The rule at level 7 abandons the language of buying entirely. The store no longer sells to you or even serves you. The store includes you. You have crossed from customer into something closer to membership in a thing that does not advertise that it exists. Level 8. The top. The number beside your name is large enough that the house wants your taste, not just your money. You don't wait for collections. You are consulted before they are designed. The creative director asks, over a long lunch that is somehow already scheduled, what you think the next season should feel like, and listens in a way that is not flattery, because your closet is a forecast of where the brand is going. Pieces are made for you that will never be made again. One of one, your initials hidden in the lining where only you will ever look. The boundary between client and house dissolves. You are invited not to buy the brand, but to shape it, to lend it your name, to sit on the side of the table that decides. The price was never discussed because price stopped being the mechanism somewhere several levels ago. The rule at level 8 is the secret the whole staircase was built to hide. The store does not have a customer at the top. The store has a partner, and the partner walks in through a door that was held open before they touched it. And somewhere right now, on the same afternoon, someone pushes a glass door that is heavier than they expected. The air inside is cold and scented like something with no name. A woman in black near the register sees them. Her eyes do the math in under a second. The shoes, the jacket, the seams. She decides what they are before they reach the first display. She does not approach, she does not smile. She watches the space between them and the merchandise, and they begin, without deciding to move smaller, softer, apologizing with their shoulders for the air they're using. They came to look at a watch. They will leave having learned the rule instead. The store was never measuring the person. The store was only ever reading the number standing next to them. You are the same person at every level. The marble, the champagne, the room behind the room, the seat in the front row. None of it was ever about you. The store does not change as you climb. The store simply shows you, one level at a time, what it was always looking at.